is Doughty, and here I have the West African Kora. This is a harp from the West African countries like Senegal, Gambia, Guinea, and Mali. And it's traditionally played by the Jalis, who are a kind of traditional people who play music and sing, and they're also historians and peacekeepers, and they have a long history. It's an oral tradition, so all the information is passed on through the family. This instrument was traditionally played by the men in the family, but now it's played by all different types of people. And I'll just explain how it's made. So it has 21 or 22 strings. This one I have has 22 strings, and it's made from a giant gourd. Okay, so it's like a pumpkin, and then it's just cut in half and hollowed out, and then they stretch skin over the front here, and then so here this is the hole, so this is where the sound comes out. Then you have 21 or 22 nylon strings running up here, and you have this neck that's running all the way through the body here, and then these handles here are just to hold it as you play. Okay, so I'll just explain a little bit why I play it and kind of that journey there. So my father played it, so he saw it being played in London, I think, over 30 years ago now, and he was already very interested in music from West Africa, but he hadn't seen one of these before, so he just kind of fell in love with it and tried to make one. And then at the time you couldn't buy them in Europe, so he managed to buy one in the end, or caught them at the end of their tour or something. And then he went out to Gambia to study with those people that he saw play. So then he started teaching me when I was about 7 or 8 years old. So kind of we were in Wales, off-grid home, in the middle of nowhere, and I was just learning this. And then when I got to about 15 years old, I found a CD, or it must have been younger, I must have been about, just a teenager, maybe 13 years old, and I found a CD of Toumani Diabaté playing, who's this kind of well-known kora player, and I just became obsessed with the way that he played. So I started listening to his CDs lots and lots and lots, and then when he was in the country, managed to get tickets to go and see him play in London, in the Barbican. And then me and my brother, who also played at the time, went backstage to meet him, and we played for him. So then he invited me out to Mali to study with him there. So he's been kind of my main kind of teacher and mentor. But I've also studied with many other kora players that live in the UK, like Seckou Keita and his whole family, and Philly Seckou and the Seckou family. So yeah, I've kind of got lots of different techniques and different ways of playing from all different families, around the kora community. So yeah, that's my story. So I'll just explain how you play it to start off with. So all you do is you play with your thumb on each hand and your first finger. Okay, so the 3 remaining fingers are just holding onto these upright handles here. Okay, and the way that it's structured is that you have 21 or 22 strings, and you've got 2 sets of them. You've got one on the right side and one on the left side. Okay, and the scale basically goes down, left, right, so it kind of drops down in the scale, left, right, like that. So maybe when you've heard the kora play, you've heard it doing this fast, like that, and that's because I can go left, right, and walk down the scale like that with the fingers. And then when it gets closer to you down here, you swap to the thumbs, and where you choose to swap to the thumbs is up to you, and where it feels comfortable to you. Some koras are different sizes, different shapes, if you want to change different places, and sometimes the thumb will come all the way up to the top depending on what it is that you're playing. Okay, so, and they're also tuned in lots of different ways. Okay, this one is with the lowest one is an F. Okay, so if you have a Kora, and maybe there'll be a link on how there's access to some places that teaching you how to tune the Kora, if you don't know how to do that already. Yeah, because it can take a while to get used to tuning this many strings and working out which one's supposed to be which pitch. But yeah, this is the lowest one here is F, and some people have that up higher to G, and some people have low as E. But I think the kind of more common one is F here. So kind of the middle ground there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to show you a simple traditional piece. Okay, and these pieces, the way that they're composed is that they have a kumbengo. It's called a kumbengo, and this is the part that repeats itself. So you have this looping pattern, which you have kind of intros, you have breaks, and you have variations of that looping pattern, but that looping pattern runs through all the way through the piece. Usually there'll be different parts and sections, but it often comes back to that same part. So, and also running through that is a bass line. So you often start when you're learning by learning the bass line. Okay, so you learn the bass line just playing the thumbs, yeah, and then when you've got that down, then you learn the finger part that goes over the top of that at the same time, so you keep that bass line going. Okay, so I think the piece that I'm going to show you today is an old traditional piece called Banile, or Bani, some people call it. Okay, so it's just quite simple really, the bass line. I'll just play it for you first, so you can hear what it sounds like, and then I'll break it down for you so you can have a go yourself. Okay. The way that I'm going to show this to you is I'm going to tell you which string by number. Okay, I'm also going to put a little graphic up here just so you can see it a bit more visually. Okay, but what I do is when I'm referring to the thumb, I count from the string closest to me, so the lowest one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then when I refer to the finger, I count from the highest one, so the one furthest away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, so finger right number 4 would be this one, and then thumb 3 on the left would be this one. Okay. I'm also going to explain or put up in the graphic what note it is. Okay, so this here, so number 3, right thumb is middle C. Okay, so we come down from middle C, like that. Okay, and up from middle C. Okay, so hopefully if you want to watch this and play another instrument, you can also learn it from from this video. Okay. So we're just going to start with the super simple bass line. Okay, I'll just play that for you so you know what it sounds like. Okay, so that's it. So we're starting with the right thumb on number 1 here, okay? So this is only number 1 if your Kora has 21 strings. If you have 22 strings, you'll have an extra one, like me here, which is off center. So we're ignoring that string. This is number 1, okay? So we go number 1, and then with the same thumb, we go to number 2, so like that, okay? 1, 2, okay? And then we're gonna go, which is G, like that, okay, which is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom, 5. So we have F, A, G, G. Okay, so F, A, and then we play A again, which is number 2 on the right side thumb. Okay, then we continue on the same first part. And this time on the left side we play number 3 thumb, and then back to number 2 on the right side, the A. So it's the same except the left thumb has changed, okay? And left thumb is playing number 3, which is D. And we play one of each, we go back and forward. Keep the thumbs pointing upwards as much as possible. Kind of the natural thing that a lot of people do when they start playing is this, and you pluck like this, and it's not very comfortable after a while. You want to just be relaxed as possible, holding onto this with the 3 remaining fingers, and just relax like that. And keep your body relaxed, keep your arms loose down here, thumbs pointing up, fingers there. Okay, so even when you're just playing the thumb pattern, keep the fingers there in place where they would be to play, just so you get used to that feeling. Okay, so I recommend just playing that for as long as you can, really. Just really get used to it, and then try and do it with your eyes closed and just feel where the strings are. That's it, that's the bass line. Okay, the simple one. What we can do is add in one extra. When you've got that, add in one extra at the beginning. So before you play number 1 here at the beginning, like that, we're playing number 1 on the left side, which is also an F. So it goes 1 left, 1 on the right, F, F. And then we continue on to number 2 on the right side, and then the G, number 5, as you were. So it goes every time. So F, 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 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. just play around with it, get really comfortable with that, and then when you're ready, come back and we'll add in the finger part. Okay, so the finger part. What we're doing here mainly is just playing, for this simple version, it's going to get more complicated as we go along, but we're just going to play the octaves. Okay, so for now we're just going to drop out that extra F that I just showed you at the end of the last part. We're just going to go back to the more simple one. Okay, the first two notes, number 1, number 2, with the right thumb. We're playing at the same time, finger on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's at the same time as number 1. That's 2 Fs. Okay, and then when with the right thumb you go up to number 2, the A, you also play the octave here, which is 1, 2, 3 from the top on the left finger. So, like that. Okay. And then we come to the part when you're playing the fifth one with the left thumb. Okay, what we're going to do then on the right finger, we're playing this one, the G as well, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're not playing those together this time. We're going playing the thumb, so number 5 on the right thumb, and the finger on that side. So, okay, what we're going to do is then play those two together. So not together, not together, and together. Okay, so far we have. Okay, and then all we need to do is play that one again, so that when we come back to play the A one here on the right side, so number 2, we're playing it with it, number 3 up here, like we did before. So far we have this. And again. So a few more times. Again. Okay, so now all we need to do is add in that one when we play number 3, the D one. Okay, so it's the same principle as the G one here. We're going to be going, so the octave to this one, 3, the D, is all the way up here with the right finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's the same thing, you do the thumb, do the finger, then you do them together. Okay, so thumb, finger, together. So it's like this. And then the same thing here again, that's the last one. So then we just alternate back and forth between the two. Okay, so that's the D one more time. Then we go back to the G one. To do is add in that number 1 on the left side again with the fingers as well. So that one is still alone, but it's like that. So it's alone and then this one's together. So okay, so that's the basic kumbengo, so the part that repeats itself. So now what we need to do is just start adding little parts to that to make it sound a bit more interesting and a bit varied. Okay, so I'm just going to show you one very simple thrill that we put in there. Okay, so same. Okay, so this bit here has another technique which I'll explain in a minute, but it has a muted note in it. So, like that. Okay, so what we're doing here is something we do a lot in the Kora, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so with just the fingers, starting on number 3 on the left. Okay, and then on the right side we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so, okay, and then on the left side we go to 4. So that's the 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we go back to number 6 on the right. Then we go to number 4 on the left. Then we go to number 7 on the right. And number 7 is the muted one. Okay, so it's like that. Practice this a lot because it's not easy, and to do it at that speed takes time. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, so practice that, then I'm going to show you how to fit it into the bit we learned a minute ago. Okay, so hopefully you've got that. So now I'm going to show you where it fits into the bit I showed you before. So. So we do that bit up until there. Okay, I'll do it one more time for you. So from the beginning, and we come back to the A. So number 2 on the right, number 3 on the left. When you do that one the second time, first time, second time, this is when we put in that part I just showed you. Okay, with the muted note. Okay, and I'll explain how to do the muted note in a minute. Then we go, it comes back in the D one, okay, so that's number 3 and number 4 up here, so 3, 4, and it goes, so just ending off that part. Okay, so the new bit has replaced that bit. Okay, so. So, something that you can do to make it a little easier is when we come back here, instead of playing both those notes, just play the right thumb at number 2. And then we go, then we start that bit there. Instead of going, we just go, okay? Because otherwise you're playing this left finger twice in the same note very quickly, which can be a bit of a challenge at first. So just go like that. And you don't need to do this every single time. Just do it once and then go back into the simple one. And the same with that extra note, the extra 1 on the left. So only sometimes you need to do it. So basically what you've got there is the kind of basic building blocks to start playing a Kora piece, because all you need is some small variations and you can put them in different order and you can play around with them that way and just see what works for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how to do those muted notes. Okay, so there's 2 different ways you can do it. One, so this one, we're not going to play another string afterwards below it, so we're just going, what we're doing, plucking it, and we're bringing our finger back on again in the same place we just plucked it, like that. So it's good to practice this. So the other way of doing that is if you pluck it and then you stop it with the other side of your nail. So it's one action off, then it goes on, but on the other side, like that. So it's a very good practice to get this, because this makes it sound like a kora. You have it's kind of muted notes. Okay, so I recommend doing a scale. So starting on number 3 on the right side finger, then going to number 1 on the left side, and then number 4 on the right side, and then number 2 on the left side, and so on. You just come down note by note by note. Okay, so like that. The muted notes. And then when you feel ready, you can go back up the other way. Just to play around, explore things and see what works for you. It's good to take a break and do something different like that for a moment, and then go back to learning the piece. So I'm just going to show you one more part that goes with this piece, Bani Lane. Okay, so this kind of just goes over the top of the thing that I already showed you. I'm just going to show you first off just the finger part, so like this. Just like that. Okay, so what that is, play number 2 on the right side, number 3 on the right side, and then number 1 on the left side. Okay, then we play number 4 on the right side, then we go to number 2 on the left side. Like that. Da, 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 da. Then we go back to number 4 on the right side, then we go back to number 1 on the left side. So it goes back up the scale. Like that. Okay, so that's the first part. And then the second part is nice and simple. It's pretty much the same, but it's shorter. It just goes like that. So it just goes 2, 3 on the right side, 1 on the left side, 4 on the right side. So let's play those back to back like this with this rhythm. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add in that bass line that I originally showed you, so you can play both of those at the same time. So it goes like this. So I'm just going to do it slowly. So just that first part. So the first note, number 2, we're playing with number 1 on the same side, thumb right. It's a bit of a reach maybe, like that. So it's number 1 and number 2. And then the next note, number 3, we play alone. Okay, and then when we play number 1 here on the left side, we play number 2 thumb on the right side, so like that. Okay, so just get used to that feeling, because you're playing 1 thumb on the right side with the finger on the same side, and then you're playing 1 thumb on the right side but the finger on the left side, and that could feel strange at first. Like that, so just get used to that feeling. so then the next note, that one number 4, is played alone. So, okay, and then we come to here. Okay, so when we play number 2, left finger, we play the G, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, thumb, left side, both on the same side, so. Okay, so this time we're just playing 1 G with the bass line, we're not playing 2, so. Okay, then we go back to number 4, remember, on the right side finger, and then we go back to number 1 on the left finger, and we're going to play number 2 here on the right side, rivet, so thumb, so just like that. So thumb, 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 thumb. You can repeat this one quite nicely, so just repeat it like this. Okay, so now we're into the next one, the more simpler one, and this time it's going to be with a D here. So it's this one's a little different because it adds in a bit from the old thing that I showed you at the beginning. So when I showed you to put the thumbs and the fingers together, okay, but I'll explain as we go. So it starts the same. Okay, so number 2 with number 1 on the right side, and then number 1 on the left with number 2 thumb on the right side. So okay. Then we go to number 4 on the right side, alone. Okay, then what we do is this left thumb plays number 3. Like that. Okay, then we're going to go back to number 4 on the right side finger. So, like that. One more thing to finish it off, that. Okay, so if you remember from before, we played these 2 together, so it's number 2, right thumb, number 3, left finger, 2 A's. So okay, and then we go back to the beginning of the first one, and to this one. We come back. So playing this one again. In, we're playing that, the Kumbengo as we call it. We're going here, and then when we get to this one, do the D, 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 A, then we start the first one. And we can repeat it as many times as we want. But then when we're finished, we just come out then we start just the beginning of the gambego. Okay, so far you have we have 3 different options of what we can do, or 4 different options. So you can even play the bass line alone. So I'll just play from the beginning, just go through all the different variations of what we've done so far. Okay, so you can put them in any order and any way that you like, that feels right for you. Bass line running through it all the time. Okay, so yeah, I hope you understood that and it was clear, and I hope that you now understand how to play the kora, and hopefully if you have a kora you can give that a go, and hopefully you'll be able to understand that and be able to play your first piece on it. Even if you've played before and this is just a refresh on this piece or whatever, yeah, I hope that it works out for you, and thanks for watching. Okay, goodbye.